guess we have had like a little bit to moan about this episode. A little bit. But it's important that we acknowledge that even being born with the body parts that fit your gender identity is a privilege, and it's not always the case for everyone.
True.
I'm going to let these three explain more.
Tatas is one of the things I call my chest. If I'm referring to the whole area, it's just chest. Chest works well. Sometimes pecs, sometimes.
They're called babies, they're my babies. All the girls.
Boobs. That's about it, really.
Hello, I'm George Fowler. I'm a transgender man, but most people know me best as this, which is Hugo Grrrl, who is a drag king.
Hi, I'm Lexi. Yeah, I'm an academic. I'm transgender. Yeah, that's me.
Kia ora, my name is RAMON. I am 43 years old. I am a trans woman.
Growing up, I had a complex relationship to my body in general. Puberty was like a really scary time.
But I would get out of the shower and I would look at myself in the mirror and it was always a hint of, well, what's that? And the further down my body I got, the more it was, what's that?
I was completely devastated and disappointed because, you know, I didn't develop bosoms. I would resort to like bras and then stuffing bras, like I think a lot of people can relate to in general.
I got this like spacey, far away feeling, like I wasn't connected with what was happening at all.
It's a bit like living in a hotel room, having the wrong body. You're in a hotel room and you don't know what it's like to actually live in your own home.
I was a showgirl from like 16, 17. There was a trio of us and we would perform in a group called Pure Funk and they were obsessed with big kahunas, so theirs would like... So we used to have like socks, this is so embarrassing, with condoms in them filled with water. So that would give us like big bouncy boobs. And they would do things like slide up and down the floor and I'm thinking, bitch, they are so gonna pop. But it wasn't until I started taking hormones that I developed boobs naturally.
So I took these 2 little blue pills. Anything? No. Still this hairy, flat sort of thing. And I forgot about it.
Putting on like male contour for the first time and taping for the first time and just having this like, holy shit.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, this is beautiful. This is great.
The body is not angular anymore. The shape has changed. My hips have changed and there are breasts. And honestly, I just cried and cried and cried and cried and cried. Suddenly, I was authentic. I was looking at my house as opposed to my hotel room.
My flatmate, she's divine. She's like lace and everything's like really pretty and matching and like, and I'm like, oh, it's so much effort. But, you know, I'm just like, oh, I've had a bra for 3 years. This'll do fine. Push the girls up, I'm out.
Daily, I wear a binder. Wish I washed this. It literally just flattens everything out and you kind of like hoik your tits to the side into your armpits into it, so it kind of sits like up here and it does a pretty bloody good job under a thick black t-shirt. A binder is not comfortable to wear. My back is fucked. You're constricting all this area so your back muscles get lazy. Isn't that nuts?
Interesting story. I never knew that trans women were susceptible to breast cancer. Now, that might sound like a really dumb thing to say or think, but I didn't think that. And I also realised that men can get breast cancer as well.
When you get the letter saying you've got to go and have a mammogram, that's another, it's like getting another birth certificate to be able to do that.
Oh man, I go in and buy the weirdest shit from Bunnings. So I'm looking for something like, you know, because it has to be like sweat resistant. So when I take this off, sweat will just fall out of it. Isn't that, it's disgusting, it'll go, and he'd be like, what is this for? I'd be like, an art project? I'm fairly sure he thought it was just sex.
My friend owns a bar and he quite often would ring me and say to me, you've got 2 bras here. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, how did that happen? Why is there 2? I don't know. I don't know.
There's just people relate to their bodies in all different sorts of ways. For trans people, that's much harder. You know, you're transgressing the big, weird line in the sand called gender. Like, that's a really big social move.
I wish that we talked about our bodies more as trans women and trans men as trans people, or we're given the space to talk about our bodies more.
For me, I'm proud of the fact that they are mine. They're mine, and I grew them myself. They are nearly 20 years old, so they've got through their teenage years. That's incredibly powerful and a delight to be able to look in the mirror and go, this is me. This is me. The journey has been worth it.
Amazing.
That was amazing.
Phenomenal humans.
Thank you so much, Ramon and George and Lexi. And if anyone out there has any questions about your gender identity, you can call Outline NZ and have a chat.
So breast or chest health is really important, right? And we all have to do stuff to keep an eye on what is going on with our upstairs bits and pieces, as I like to call it.
I think it's like you're supposed to start at 20 and know you're normal, so you start checking then. I am very late to the party, but I know that it's something about fingertips.
Yes.
Armpit to sternum, I believe. The chest area you have to check is larger than you think.
Oh,
It's like you've got to go uphill, down, dale.
Righto.
Yeah.
When they get sore around my period, I go, oh, that's sore. Oh, that's sore. And just like keep prodding to be sure that it still hurts. You know, you get like a little bit obsessed, like, is it really sore? Oh, it's sore.
It's sore.
And I'm like, well, I'm here. Nah, no lumps.
I do a check in the shower and I also like to do them at restaurants.
Just between the entree and the main.
It helps to remind everybody else that they need to do
It's
that.
just
right.
responsible.
I think it's a
And then you
PSA.
get your $200 fine.
That's the one. You can also get a close personal friend to do it for you. Apparently that's often the way lumps are discovered.
Great if you're just
Bits and
lazy.
pieces. Yeah.
Can you do it?
I'm tired.
Michelle, this is a McDonald's. I have a question.
Yes.
What is it like to get a mammogram?
It's not painful, it's uncomfortable because there's a squish that way and you get a squish that way.
Oh, a double squish.
Yeah. The machine always feels like it's made for somebody much taller than me, even though it does go up and down. And sometimes you feel like you're being lifted off the ground by it. I do...
Picked up by the boobs.
I do really strongly feel that if men had mammograms as often as women do, there would be a much nicer machine made.
And you probably get the day off.
Probably.
Yeah, and a medal.
And a beer.
Well,
And a pay rise.
Yeah.
One of these.
let's not forget. But it is important to do, of course, even if it is unpleasant.
It's uncomfortable, but not as uncomfortable as cancer.
True. Well, that brings us to the end of our episode where societal constructs are entirely made up and showing your nipples doesn't actually matter.
Now, if you don't mind, we've got an appointment on Takapuna Beach.
See you next month. Hei tērā marama.
Let's go, taking the girls.